Hello, everybody. I'm going to give everybody some time to come through. This is fake fire. I have to say that for TikTok and everybody else because sometimes they be a little weird when you're like lighting stuff on video. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Today we're going to be doing oracle readings, but we're going to do an energy check-in just to see, how everybody's doing with Mercury and reggaeton, as you know, because things have been a little crazy. So now that is, the first, it's important to just check in and see how everybody's doing. I'm just burning a cinnamon stick because sometimes you need to burn a nice little cinnamon stick. So we're burning a little cinnamon stick today. So do yourself a favor and do a nice little like cleanse. I hope everybody's doing their day rituals. That's kind of like the other thing. A lot of people do their day stuff today due to it being the first of the month, or the monthly stuff, I should say. Let me just put it like right there. Boom. We're going to be doing an energy check-in. We're going to be doing some readings. Go grab yourself some tea. Okay? Because we're going to jump in and get started. We're going to be doing oracle cards today. So, let me grab sacred symbols. Let me grab. Let's do the Okana deck. Because, when we're doing community readings, we always do those. Let's see. Let's do the message from the mermaids. Let's do the moonology. Let's do the Archangel Michael, and let's do the butterfly. The butterfly life changes oracle decks. So these are going to be you guys' options for, if you want to do an oracle card reading, if you want to get a reading. We're going to do an energy check-in first, and then if there's anyone that wants an oracle card reading, just send $5 to $10 to my Cash App or Venmo, which is the same as my name, so it's OkaniLuna. Your oracle card options. Oh, if you're a Patreon member, your reading is already included. If you're a channel member, your reading's already included. So you just drop your question. If you're a Patreon member, just put in your username so that way I can cross you off the list, and then we can go from there. So your oracle card options for the readings, you have the moonology deck, the Archangel Michael deck, the butterfly for life changes deck, the messages from the mermaids oracle deck, the Okana oracle deck, but only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work because it's really blunt, and the sacred symbols oracle deck. So those are your oracle cards. Oracle card options for today. Let me just put this to the side. Boom and boom. Okay. But we're going to be doing an energy check-in, so let me grab my tarot. Okay. Okay, so yes, we're going to be doing an energy check-in to see what's going on. Hi, Mitch. How are you? Hope everything is well. Hope everybody is doing well. Because I know, y'all, the sessions I've been having have been really intense. So I really hope, everybody is taking care of themselves. Because the energy is really, really intense right now. It's a lot going on. So it's really important to just like check in and see where everybody is, where the current energies are, what's popping, what's happening, because things happen. And so it's important to just, hey, Missy, how are you? Hope everything is well. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, I clicked the other one by mistake. My bad. Okay. Wait, Mitch said, okay, thanks. I've been really appreciating your t-shirts. Oh, the Mercury retrograde challenge. Yes. We've been doing we've been consistently doing them. It's been an experience, and hopefully after, you know, this Mercury retrograde, you guys have some tools in the back, you know, for the next Mercury retrograde, because we do have a Mercury retrograde that's happening right literally at the end of the year. Literally, it ends like at the end of the year. So hopefully you guys have those tools set in place so you guys know how to navigate moving forward. But yeah, we'll be doing more challenges as well. Hope you've been all right. I've been good. I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been doing a lot of work and client work in the back. If you guys have been like, I miss your videos where you like talk about specific topics, I miss those too. I just have not had time to do them, and I'm also working on some projects for you guys as well. So it's been a little bit all over the place, but I'm getting everything back in order and like organized. So yeah, so stay tuned for those videos. There's already like there's a list of video ideas that I've been meaning to, you know, film and post for you guys. So stay tuned for all of those. Also, before we jump in and get started, because I always have to mention it in the beginning, I'm having a special right now. So with the code in all caps, Virgo season, you get 44% off all of my services. I've been getting a ton of emails because a lot of people are looking for guidance and looking for help. And like I've been getting a lot of requests for just like more of like some affordable sessions. So I decided to do a discount until the 5th. So for those who need like the sessions that they need, all of my classes, all of my services, all of that is on sale right now until the 5th of September. So you guys have 5 days to take advantage of it. Highly recommend you know, taking advantage of the sale. For those who are in need of a session or who want to take any of the courses, because any of my classes, so for 13 Octave Lao Chi certification, the Akashic Records like class, the 5-hour intensive, and also Kemetic Reiki, it's also on sale as well. All of my services are on sale. So definitely make sure you take advantage of it if you do want to, or if you need a session, astrology, past life, tarot, all of those things. My website is linked down below, and if you're on YouTube, if you are on TikTok, it's linked in my bio. So yeah, so I've been good. I've just been like kind of working like crazy, and I'm just like trying to get back on the flow of things, and I'm also getting back into working out as well. That's just been like where I'm trying to, but I haven't had time to do it. But it's like mentally I'm doing it, but I'm not there yet. So yeah, Mercury retrograde has been a fun time. It's I feel like, and this is kind of one of the other things, when you're born under Mercury retrograde, which I was born under Mercury retrograde, it doesn't affect you the same way as other people. Like the people who really feel it the heaviest during this time is the people that, one, Geminis and Virgos naturally, but also people who, you know, usually have Mercury or were born with Mercury direct. And so for them, it's like, whoa, what is this slowing down in communication? What is this mess? What's going on? Like for them, it's messy, but for us, it's like, okay, we've been kind of in this reflective energy for like ever, for like our whole lives. So this is a regular Sunday for us. So for me, it's just been kind of chill. Like I've been good. I've just been like doing a lot of work, working on some projects for you guys. Spirit keeps giving me a lot of different ideas that they want me to work on and do. Okay, whole bunch of cards. Okay. There's a lot of different things that they want me to work on and do for you guys. So just stay tuned for all that jazz. And then the last thing that I'm going to mention before we get started is that we're going to Egypt. Okay. We're doing an Egypt spiritual retreat in January. There's 2 spots left for the early bird for those who are going to want the discount. I am so excited to get to go to Egypt and do this spiritual retreat because it's going to be amazing. We're going to be at the pyramids. We're going to be at the temples. We're going to be doing ceremony because I'm putting y'all to do the work, the spiritual work. It's going to be amazing. And I'm really, really excited about it. If you want more information and the breakdown of the dates and what we're going to be doing and all the stuff, the link is in the bio and the link is in the description for if you're on YouTube. Definitely reserve your spot before there's no spots left. I'm really, really, really excited about it. It's going to be an iconic trip. We're going to be doing a full moon in Leo ceremony. We're going to be doing some recalling your power. There's going to be an Ankh attunement for specifically to recall your power. We're going to be doing a workshop. There's going to be a lot. We're also going to be in the Nile, like sailing in the now. It's just gonna be iconic. Like when I tell you, I was so excited. So yeah, make sure you reserve your spot. Okay. So that we can all, you know, be there together and, you know, have great, amazing times. But yes, with that being said, let's jump into this week's energy. Like as far as like what's the current energies? How are we feeling collectively? What is the vibes? Okay, they're really sending stacks. They're sending stacks. Okay, hold on. I keep clicking the thing. They keep sending stacks. Each cards have been coming out in threes, which is funny. Because it's definitely giving literally, wow, literally coming out in threes. Like, okay. All right, so energy check-in. So we have the page of wands, and this is really tapping into that. First of all, the moon is in Aries right now, so everything's a little bit more energized. Everything's a little bit more. Don't be surprised if you can't sleep well tonight or tomorrow, because usually under Aries moons or even Aries season, unless you are a fire sign, or honestly, or an air sign, it's a little hard for you to like sleep the long hours due to the fact that there's too much, the energy builds up too quickly because of the fire energy. So just be mindful of this. But right now, energy check-in, we have the Page of Wands. We have the Chariot, which is also the card of Cancer. Okay. We have the Page of Swords, because of course. Then we have the Ace of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and the 5 of Cups. Okay, listen, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, we're definitely gonna talk about it. Then we have the Ace of Wands, the Emperor, which is literally the card of Aries, and then we have the Temperance card, which is a card of Sagittarius. So lots of underlining fire energies coming up. Okay, and this is telling to a specific situation, because y'all, Jupiter's about to go retrograde. Literally, Jupiter's about to go retrograde, and so yeah, let's just start from the beginning. Let's do that. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, so with the energy check-in, there's definitely a lot going on. There's a lot of shifts going on. You guys know that the page suit is they're an initiatory beginning. It's something that's occurring. It's something that's, you know, whether it's being felt out, it's something that is like fresh. It's not something that's developed. It's not something that has a lot of foundation yet. It's just something that is like, okay, I think I'm going to start doing this, and then I'm making some effort into doing the thing. Okay, so the pages are not knights, they're not queens yet, they're not kings yet, they're just a page. They're the beginning of that journey before they can get to that level, right? And so with the pages that we're getting the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords, and then right in the middle we have the Chariot card. The Chariot card is not only the card of Cancer, which is also a very emotional card, but it's also the card of victory. Okay, there's also a duality when it comes to this card. As you can see, there's this mirroring of this, like from white to black, right? And then there's this moons on both sides of the shoulder. There's it really highlights the ebb and flow of the emotions that Cancer goes through, and kind of like how certain things are like feel like kind of in the dark sometimes, and certain things kind of feel like in the light sometimes. So this energy is ultimately, it's a very balanced energy, but it's also the energy of victory. It's the energy of success. Obviously, you see someone on a chariot, like a literal chariot, because that's what the card is, who has literally been just blessed with all of this, like the crown, all of this, like this importance, right? Like they have succeeded in something, they have tamed something, they have achieved something, right? And so there's a lot of that energy right now where it's like a lot of the things that are being thought of right now, the things that you're trying to initiate, or the things that you're like really like, you know what, I kind of want to do this, or I kind of want to start that, or I think I'm feeling like maybe I should start this or that, or whatever it is. There's a sense of like determination which is good because when it comes to the retrogrades, like, let's keep it 100. A lot of the reflection that's happening right now, it's also from the lack of inaction in the intentions that you had set in the past. So right now, there's a lot of like momentum towards like the future energies and what's happening moving forward. So it's a determination. It's a determination to not only see something through all of the way, but also committing to it, like mentally committing to it, deciding, making that decision that, you know what, like, I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. I have to see this through. I can't just sit on it anymore. I can't just make excuses. I need to see this through, right? Then when we get into the next set of cards, right, we have like the Ace of Swords, because we've got two aces. And as you notice, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Page of Swords, Page of Wands. So we know what we're wielding, right? As the Magician's energy, we know what we're wielding. We know what energy we're calling into. It's the swords and it's the wand suit, right? The wand suit rules the journey. Okay, it rules the journey. And the sword suit rules the mind, communication, how you interact, social encounters, because it's all about consciousness. It has to do also with creativity, ideas, a direction that you might want to go in. It rules all of that, right? And so next to the Ace of Swords is the happily ever after card. Okay, probably one of the preferred, out of the tens. Okay, the 10 of Cups. So that the card of happily ever after, emotional fulfillment. It is a card of feeling happy, feeling genuinely happy, feeling genuinely like you have you achieved that happiness, especially emotionally. A lot of the time this card is connected to love, because obviously the cup suit is connected to emotions, and so it's connected to love in many ways, but it's really connected. It really highlights emotional fulfillment, emotional happiness, emotional just feeling accomplished emotionally. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, so we know where our mind is at. There's a sense of wanting to have a more grounded state when it comes to our emotional life. That includes with love and romance. There's some that, especially because the 10 of Cups is also, it also highlights the energy of marriage. Because as you can see, you have a couple and then you have kids and you got a house in the background, like you're building a home. The card of happily ever after is it's life partner. It's you being settled emotionally, you not having to worry emotionally, you being stable, like you don't have nothing to worry about emotionally, right? That's what the 10 of Cups is about, right? And so you see how the ace that we're wielding, what the intention is. So for some people, y'all are like, you know what? I think it's time for me to like settle down and find my person. I think it's time for me to manifest this great love. I think it's time for me to like really like connect with someone. Like I'm tired of the back and forth and I'm tired of it. I want my person. Some people are literally thinking about wanting their person, right? And then the card that comes after that is the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups. The card of this could literally be the embodiment of baggage. You can literally see it as the embodiment of baggage, like having baggage from like emotional baggage from past relationships. This is literally the perfect card to embody like having baggage from past relationships. So the problem with it, there's no problem with wanting this, but the problem is that if you're making these decisions, right, where it's just like, you know what, I just want to have this success. I want to have this victory. I want my emotional life to look this way. I want it to look this way. But you haven't healed yourself and you haven't sorted your shit out, which is literally this card. You have not healed yourself yet. You are still very much navigating through a lot of trauma from your past relationships. Okay? Because if you look at this card, you see a guy, all black, all like he's sad, he's upset, he's looking down, He has 2 cups behind him that are perfectly filled, that they didn't spill, but he has 3 in front of him that spilled. He could easily replenish himself in that river right there. But no, that's not what he's doing. He is still upset. He's still frustrated. He still has like unfinished like pain and hurt from the things that were spilled. Okay. Because this was spilled, because there is pain here, because there is like, it feels like they lost something. This person has not been able to move on from this situation, from the emotional situation. So if you look at, if you come back to Mercury retrograde, very much a healing time period, very much a period for your healing, a period for your own emotional elevation, for your own emotional grounding, for you to be emotionally stable, for you to get back to yourself and mentally be clear-headed about, you know, your purpose, what it is that you're doing, what you want to do, why you want to do it, why you're feeling so determined, right? Why we're feeling so determined about our future, about the things that we want. Right now, some of you are still navigating with the healing that needs to happen. Some of you are still finding ways to cope and finding ways to make this work. You're still working through the pain and you're still healing yourself. You're not fully there yet. Like, you're not here yet. You're not ready to meet that person. That's the other thing. If you're trying to manifest your happily ever after romantic, you're not quite ready yet. Okay. And I know it's like sounds annoying to say, because listen, as someone who has met their life partner, when I tell you if I hadn't done the healing that I needed to do, I wouldn't have been ready to meet her. I fully understand that I needed to do the work that I needed to do. Like, you literally have to work on yourself, have to heal from the past, have to do the emotional release that needs to happen before you can get to the end game. You can't sit here and still be upset about the cups that spilled and then have 10 cups straight up. Like, you can't do that. You just can't do that. You have to get yourself in order. You have to get your cups in order. You have to get to the point where you are feeling good, where you are okay, where you are happy, where you love yourself, right? Where you're working on your purpose, where you're doing your thing. That's what's being overcome right now. You're doing this work. This is what all of the retrogrades are triggering right now. We're doing general readings, and then after we're doing a collective check-in, we're going to be doing oracle card pulls for the person who asked. So right now, it's time to put in the work. It's literally time to put in the work, especially because of this energy. And it's really the fire energy that's really coming through, especially right now with the moon being in Aries. Listen, okay? The other aces that's being wielded right now is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands and the fire signs that are coming up, Sagittarius and Aries. All of the fire signs and the wand suit rule the journey. They're all about the journey that you take, your own individuality and your purpose, what it is that you're feeling called to do, why you feel called to do it, all of those things. They rule the journey. Okay? Especially Aries, but they rule the journey. So when the Ace of Wands is coming up like this, these two signs, especially Aries, is a very individualistic sign. It's opposite Aries. This energy is opposite to Libra energy. We've talked about this before, but I'm going to mention it again. Aries rules your own personal journey. Libra rules your journey with someone else. And also how you stay in balance. and the law and stuff like that. But it rules the journey that you have with someone else. This is why Aries rules your first house, which is the house of self. It's the house of how you show up in the world, not how other people show up with you, how you show up in the world. And why the 7th house is the house of committed relationships, right? Other relationships, people that you are connecting to within that journey. So right now, it's not about anybody else. It's not about this. You're not here yet. That's the intention. That's the goal. That's end game. You're not there yet. Right now, it's about you. Right now, it's about you. Your journey, what you want to do, how you're healing, how you're growing, how you're moving forward. It's about you. Your purpose, your drive. It's literally about you. It's not about anybody else. It's not about anybody else. The Sagittarius card, the Temperance card. As you can see, Sagittarius is a mutable energy. So it has to ebb and flow. So there is that, you see the little cup bearing that's happening right there? Yeah, it has to ebb and flow. There's also 1 foot in water, 1 foot on earth. And there's a journey right there with a whole like crown right there, right in the background. Because that crown this is what it looks like. This is the end game. This is the point. This is what we're trying to get to. But again, you need to do this first. You got to balance out first. You have to be in balance first, emotionally, and within your journey. You have to be grounded. If you are not there yet, you're not getting nowhere near this yet. It's going to take a little bit more time. You do have to heal yourself. You do have to heal. It's a non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable energy. You have to heal yourself. The longer you waste not doing the work, the longer that it's going to take for you to get to. The longer it's going to take to get to this. And honestly, one of the things that I always, remind people is that there are times where spirit will be guiding you to go in a certain direction, where that other person you could literally miss an opportunity with your other person because you weren't ready to meet them. And because you literally did no work to get ready for them. So you not only did you end up losing the opportunity with them, but they end up moving on elsewhere. And it's almost kind of like you're coming together at a road that's going to connect. But because something happened in that road, there was a slide, a tree fell on it, you couldn't cross, you had to go another way. You ended up going like this when you were supposed to meet right here. So you have to really take accountability for your choices, the decisions that you're making. Are you going to continue to waste time about some of the healing that needs to be done? Are you going to continue to not doing anything about it? Right? So what are you going to decide? How are you going to use your journey right now? It's a great time for healing. It's a great time to mentally work through a lot of this, a lot of the baggage, a lot of the pain, a lot of the frustration, because you don't want to take that into like the future moving forward. Like, why do you need to take, what is the point? What is the point of taking this forward? There is no point. So you have to decide now if you're going to continue to, willfully give your energy, willfully give your power, willfully waste time. Is it going to come back to bite you later? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The way you use your energy, it has a way of just coming back to bite. Bottom of the deck, by the way, is the underlining energies. The Knight of Wands, so we're still getting that fire energy. Seven of Cups, Pisces energies. We have the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Hangman. Some of you are literally hung up on some things, like hung up, when y'all need to be doing this. Y'all need to focus on you. Y'all need to prioritize you. You should be choosing you right now. If I had like $10 for every time I've said that this week in a session, y'all, you should be choosing you right now. I know you want other things. I could see it. Okay, I could see that you want other things. You want other things. I see it. But you should be choosing yourself right now. It's not about anybody else. It's not about them. You should be choosing you. You not choosing you is why things are stuck the way they're stuck. Okay? You not choosing you, you not prioritizing you, you're worried about everything else but you is why you're feeling stuck the way you are. So the question is how long are you going to continue to feed that energy? Okay. And because the message is giving very much le romance, let's pick a card from the romance angels. Collectively, what is the collective message? Oh, what is the collective message for romance and love right now? What is the collective message for romance and love right now? Oh. Gonna get one more. Okay. Because everybody's going through a different thing. And so it's important to look at things from multiple angles. So for some of you, you are getting the getting to know each other card. As you reveal your innermost self to each other, your bond deepens. And this is also very telling to this energy, by the way, because a lot of you, when it comes to love and romance, some people, y'all will get traumatized in certain relationships, but you will refuse to accept and process that certain relationships are very toxic and you'll only see them from a certain specific light. So you also have to be careful with that energy, because some of you are self-gaslighting yourselves to believing that someone was a really great and you lost them or something happened, when in reality, it's literally the whole opposite energy. So you also, while you're doing a lot of your analyzation, okay, you need to be honest about the gaslighting that you put yourself through because your emotions wanted to overpower your minds because you felt a certain type of thing for someone. And so it made you look blindly to certain things that you needed to have your eyes wide open for, because you just been actively ignoring it. You got to come to terms with it now. Come to terms with it now. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Keep an open mind. If you have actively convinced yourself that your person is a specific person, who that person is literally giving you straight up hell and making things way more complicated than it needs to be, then you need to detach the idea that they're endgame. Because they're not. One of the things about doing soulmate work and doing love healing, relationship healing, all of that, is that you will learn that at the end of the day, there's some people that no matter how much you love them, they're not it. They're not meant to be your it. No matter how much you care about them, no matter how important they are to you, they cannot be that person, because that's not what they are. That's not also what they're choosing to be. And they're meant to literally exit your life. But you know, we're human, we stubborn, we like to keep things. We like to hold on to things longer than we should a lot of the time. And so you need to keep an open mind about what endgame looks like. Because honestly, this is one of the first lessons that my first soulmate taught me. I was hung up on the idea that one, I was like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. Ain't no way. If this time machine call Doctor Who, call him up and go back in my timeline, I would have literally looked at your face and I'd be like, there's no way. There's no way it could be anybody else. Why would it be anybody else? How could I have these deep ass feelings? How can the connection feel this intense? There's no way. It took me 5 years to learn that lesson the hard way. That just because someone is your soulmate, just because you have an intense connection to someone, just because no. Your life partner, you and your relationship with your life partner is supposed to not be complicated. It's very easy, actually. It's very fluid. It's like nature. It just flows. It ebbs and flows naturally. The things that come in to complicate us, to stir up change, is because we are required to change. So you have to keep an open mind. You have to change your perspective, because trust and believe, if that person was the end game, the one, they wouldn't be making your life or your emotions a living hell like this. It wouldn't be this complicated. Some people are just here to teach you something. Some people are just here to teach you something. Let's say that again. Some people are just here to teach you something. And sometimes some lessons are not easy. Sometimes some lessons hurt. Sometimes the lessons trigger us. Sometimes those lessons are traumatic. Like psychologically, like have to go to the therapist, traumatic. But we're not meant to keep everybody. So you have to keep an open mind when it comes to people, when it comes to dealing with other people. Like if you're on your own journey and you're still healing yourself, you can recognize that you are not fully there yet too. So see that also in other people. Everybody else doesn't have everything together. Okay? Everybody else doesn't have everything together. Everybody's still working through a lot of stuff. So you have to not romanticize the perception that you want to have for certain people, because you're literally just going to hurt yourself that way. Then we have finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Jupiter is about to go retrograde. Jupiter's about to go retrograde. So what's going to happen with Jupiter going retrograde is that certain things are going to slow down. For some people, it will be a financial slowdown. So you do have to be mindful how you're navigating certain things. You could see some changes within the home, and especially with all the retrogrades, you might need to fix stuff up as well. Like you might actually spend money fixing things that have been needed to get fixed. Like, oh, I had to change my roof. I got to change some pipes. I got to change this wall. I got to change, like, you might literally need to upkeep your home, which is very much on Virgo energies as well, because Virgo rules, while Cancer rules the home, Virgo rules the home routine, like the maintenance, like what you do, like the routine, the flow of it. That's Virgo energy. It's one of the other reasons why I always say that Cancer and Virgo are very similar signs, because they rule similar things, very, very similar things. Like Virgos still nurture people because they are in service to others. They are healers. Okay. So they're still like taking care of everybody. Same like Cancer is. And so because of that, like home energy that like flowing through the mundane, which is what Virgo rules, you have to kind of be mindful of, you know, what's going on, especially with Jupiter, because Jupiter is going to make it so certain things need to be upkept, certain things need to be changed, certain things are going to need to be addressed. That's just, for some people, I will say there won't be a slowdown when it comes to certain doors opening as well. Certain things might just slow down for a couple, like a month-ish, or well, actually probably until December. Either you might feel that certain things slow down quite a bit, in that it's taking some time for things to be a little fast. So don't expect things to move like super, super quickly, especially from now until the end of the year. Honestly, we're ending the year on a Mercury retrograde. Uranus goes direct in January. That's when we finally get out of all of the retrogrades. Like the retrogrades are going to stop, you know, especially the generational planets. Every month, like October, November, December, like every month you're going to see one like go direct, which is great, but it's still a lot. Like Venus is going to go direct and Mercury retrograde is going to end on September 15th, but it's still a lot of retrogrades. The energy is very, very, very dense right now. So you do have to, like, you know, account for the slowing down part, and understand that for some people it will be impacting a little bit more financially than anything else. So you have to be, just be mindful. Be mindful of that. Is Cancer a good match romantically for Virgo? So earth signs and water signs are generally compatible when you're looking at compatibility, like as far as earth signs and water signs go the best together, and air signs and fire signs go the best together. But when it comes to looking at romantically, I don't look at the sun signs. I look at the Venus, the Mars, because that's literally the planet of love and that's the planet of passion. So I prefer to look at those planets instead of the sun, because your sun sign is just your ego. It's your inner child. It's your willpower. It's like, it's who you are at your core, but it's not how you love. Like I am a sun in Capricorn. Like I have a stellium in Capricorn, so I have a lot of Capricorn placements. I'm a very, very much a Capricorn, but I love like an Aquarius because my Venus is an Aquarius. And when it comes to my passion, I'm passionate like a Sagittarius because my Mars is in Sagittarius. So I don't love like a Capricorn, even though I am a Capricorn and I understand how Capricorns love, because I also like, I can tap into it here and there, but I'm also ruled, you know, my Venus is ruled by Saturn as well. So it's not a hard thing for me to tap into, but I do love looking at Aquarius. Like I can get detached. I can be in my head. I could, you know, like I literally love like an Aquarius. That's just how I love. So when it comes to romantically, I don't look at the sun sign like that. I'd rather look at the moon, Venus, and Mars, preferably, because it's just going to tell you more of how you're going to connect to someone. And as far as compatibility, like you're going to want to make sure that your Venus and their Venus is, you know, compatible, and your Mars and their Mars is compatible, because that's how you're going to be able to express love to each other. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I never really, the sun sign is debatable as far as importance. Like sometimes it's really good when there's like a conjunction or something like that, and it's just like, it's good when it's like opposite. Like for example, my sun is in Capricorn, my moon is in Gemini, and my rising is in Leo, right? My wife, her sun is in Gemini, her moon is in Capricorn, her rising is in Aries. So my moon is in conjunction with her sun, and my sun is in conjunction with her moon, because she's sun in Gemini, moon in Capricorn, and I'm sun in Capricorn, moon in Gemini. So there's times where that works really well, because we really mirror each other in that way. So when it's like that, when it's like the sun and moon are like boop, boop, it's a great thing to see astrologically. But when it comes to like looking at how someone's gonna love, you're gonna want to look at their Venus and the Mars. Quick astrology lesson there. Anyway, next we have make the effort. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. What are you being guided to do? What are you being guided to do? To heal yourself. It's like great love is make the effort. It's worth it. You're not gonna be mad about it. It's like Spirit is like, listen, I'm telling you, once you're ready, you're gonna be ready, and that's great. And then we got you, but not before then. Not before then. Okay. Girl, my mom sent me my baby book, and it turns out I'm a Aqua Venus on the cups of Pisces 1 degree away. Welcome to the Venus and Aquarius gang. It's generally a fun time. It's generally a fun time if used wisely. It's generally a fun time when used wisely. What I will recommend, if you are a Venus in Aquarius, or even a Mars in Aquarius, and you are looking for like love and relationships and stuff like that, you're gonna have to like use social media to some extent, or dating apps, or because you have to. Aquarius rules technology. Okay, do you guys have any idea how long, like me, your girl, was like, I'm not doing no dating app. Like I am not doing dating apps. I said that like all of my life, all of my damn life. Tell me how I met my wife on a dating app. The day I finally said, you know what, let me try it. Let me if it's bad, it's bad. Granted, obviously you guys know I'm a lesbian, so I was using the Her app, which is like a lesbian dating app, so it was a lot less sketchy than the other, like the Tinders and the stuff. But still, like it was still like, you know what, I was like, you know what, let me just try it, and if it works, it works. I literally met her in a week on the app. And she had deleted hers and then reinstalled hers, and like she said 15 minutes of her being logged in, I had swiped her, and then she swiped me back, and then literally the rest is history. Like if you're a Venus and Aquarius, you have to like you have to work with what Aquarius rules. So Aquarius rules friends, it rules the collective, it rules technology, social media. So you're either going to end up meeting someone through a friend, or hanging out with a friend, or being out with a friend, or just being out in public, or you're going to have to use like technology, like you'll meet someone online, or you'll use a dating app, like anything like modern. Like it's more of a modern take on how you connect with someone versus a traditional take. And as a Capricorn, for me, like there's an aspect of the traditional kind of courting that I enjoy, but as a Venus and Aquarius is like it's like it always ends up being through like the social tools that I've ended up like meeting people. So yeah, I highly recommend using Aquarius rule things. That's what I recommend. Fun times. Really fun time. My favorite thing about being a Venus and Aquarius, though, I'm not gonna lie, is that I can detach from anything. Like once I'm over something, I'm over it. Like listen, Venus and Aquarius, because Aquarius rules detachment, right? I can get over people so quickly. It's one of the most astrological flexes that I think I have. Like out of all of the other like blessings that I'm astrologically blessed with, when I tell you, I can get over people in like literally less than a minute. Like detached, like no feelings, don't care no more. Who are you? Like I forgot your name. Like the illest flex when it comes to getting over people, like the illest. Wait. Dalton said my Venus is in Gemini and it's always confused me. My wife's Venus is in Gemini. And you see how like my Venus is in Aquarius, air sign. Her Venus is in Gemini, air sign. So it like works together because you're gonna want your Venus to be compatible. Luca said my cat Venus could never. No, you see, Venus in Capricorn is honestly, it's a beautiful time. Venus and Capricorn people are. I love Venus and Capricorn people because they literally love like Capricorns. Like they put in the work. They if they want you and if they want you to be a part of your life, they will do all the Capricorn things. They will show up. They'll be like, "What do you need? Let's go do it. Are you hungry? Let's go eat." Like they're all about putting in the work. Like I love me a Venus and Capricorn just existing, but your girl's a Venus and Aquarius. Like I respect from a distance respectfully, but we do love differently. I will definitely say we do love differently when it comes to Venus and Capricorn, because when Venus and Capricorn starts getting committed, they're ready to like put a ring on it. To be honest, it's just Capricorn energy. Is like, we don't want to waste time. We just like, if we're into you, we're already planning the future. Like 5-10 years from now, we're seeing you in the future, period. So that's just what it is. If that's really how it is. You said my partner is a Venus and Gemini. Yeah, Venus and Gemini, very opposite to Venus and Capricorn. I hope the rest of your synastry is looking cute though, because that could be a little complex. You see, my wife has a Venus in Gemini, and she's also a sun in Gemini, but my moon is in Gemini. So I can, and my Venus is in Aquarius. So I have a lot of air to combat her airiness. And you know, it's like, it can kind of flow. It flows like the way it flows. But Venus and Gemini needs a lot of liberation. They need a lot of communication, which is why me and my wife work so well together, because we talk a lot. Like, you guys know I already talk a lot. Like I could talk for 3 hours straight. So you guys know I already talk a lot. When it comes to the air signs, air placements, and the Venus and the Mars, they need to have people who can hold a conversation. If you cannot hold a conversation, it's not gonna work. If we can't talk about things for like 3 hours, like, it's not gonna work. Like, you need to be able to hold a conversation. You need to be able to have conversation, especially with a Venus and Gemini, because Venus and Gemini, they kind of get bored. They get bored, and when they're bored, they're like, you know. So it's like they always need something going on. Like, they just, you know. And so if you can't hold a conversation, it's just not gonna go well. It's just not gonna go well. It's not gonna go well. So yeah, so for me, it's so easy because I can talk about so many different things. And my wife, she says she loves me because I'm a nerd, and I am. I'm a nerd. I don't, you know, like, there's always like, oh, my wife knows about this, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, you know, like, I'm always reading. I'm always, and granted, as far as like Hogwarts houses, she's a Slytherin and I'm a Ravenclaw, and it's so funny because she's like, she can talk about so many things because she's like really into music, and she's really into a ton of stuff, but she's really, really, really into music, really into festivals, artists, all this kind of stuff. She can talk about stuff for days. And because I'm a nerd and I'm into so many different pockets of things, I can talk about stuff for days. So there is no like getting bored. Like and I hate it when things get bored too. Like that's when my Venus and Aquarius kicks in, and I'm just like, okay, it's time for me to spend some time alone. I gotta detach a little bit and just spend some time by myself. But with Venus and Gemini, you just can't box them in. You can't box them in too tight. Like, they need to have some sort of liberation. Like, they need to still be able to, like, they want to be social. They want to go out. They want to do things. Like, they are very in the moment sign. So they need to be like bouncing from everywhere. Like, they just need to be, you know, if you can't keep up with a Venus and Gemini, you're not gonna keep up with them. Like, it's similar to like Aries energy, where with Aries, like, if you can't keep up with them, they will leave you behind. Like, the Venus and Gemini will literally, they're like, okay, well, I want to do this. Why don't you want to do this? Let's go do something. Let's do this together. Like, they just need to be buzzing like a bee. Like, they really need that. So you just gotta, if you're on top, if you can't stay on top of it, you can handle it, then that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I feel like Venus in Scorpio with a wait, hold on. I'm trying to read the comment, but it keeps going like this on my StreamYard. Did it put it up there? Okay, there it is. I feel like Venus in Scorpio with a Venus in Scorpio is, oh, the emojis. Venus in Scorpio, I believe Cardi B has a Venus in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio is very sensual. Let me just say it that way so we don't get booted off this app. Venus in Scorpio is very sensual. They need emotional connection. They need a mystery, okay? But they also need a lot of sensual time because they rule sex. So they need they need that connection. They can be very passionate. They can also be very possessive and a little bit obsessive, depending on their aspects, depending on, you know, how their other planets and even how Venus is relating to Neptune, because that can lead to like obsession. But they can be manipulative. There's good qualities and bad qualities. Because I already talked about this. Manipulation is not always a bad thing. Okay, manipulation is not always a bad thing. It's just depending on how it's being used. And so when it comes to Venus and Scorpio, they're very sensual, very intuitive. You can't lie to them. If you're going to get into a relationship with a Venus and Scorpio, do not lie. Do not lie. Just don't do it. And this is going to sound ironic because they go really well with Pisces. And I mentioned this before. There's a reason why Scorpio and Pisces are like peanut butter and jelly. Scorpio rules the truth, and Pisces literally rules lying. Like they rule illusions. So the reason why Scorpio always ends up falling for Pisces is because they're always looking for the truth in the illusion. And so if you have Pisces energies, you could probably get away with lying to a Scorpio, but I wouldn't recommend it. I still wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, just don't lie to them, and you know, it should be fun. But they're definitely into, I would say, some more sensual things. And they're very passionate. They're very emotionally, they'll take care of you, but they can be a little bit more on the kind of controlling side. Like they want to make sure that they're emotionally settled within the relationship. Like that's a big one. They need to have that like reassurance that everything's good. What's the most important placement I need to know about? In relation to what? That is subjective. You gotta give me a like a specific thing. It can't be that nuanced, because astrology is like, I can't just pick one thing to tell you this is the most important, because it wouldn't be true. It would not be true. There's so many things that are, and that's the reason why astrology is so complicated, because there are so many things about it that are, it's like math. Like addition is not like subtraction. Subtraction is not like division. Like they all work in their own specific context, and astrology is math, but they all work in their own kind of respective thing. Like the numbers are not the same. 1 through 100, they're all not the same number. So you can't say, oh, what's the most important number? I can't tell you that. It's subjective. You got to tell me what you're looking for. Like in relation to what? What is the best in relation to what? That would be my answer to that. So I hope that makes sense. What is the best match for a Venus and Leo? Like I said, I would have to see the Mars with the Moon. I would have to see the chart, honestly. It's hard for me to just pinpoint, you know, what would be good for what. But generally speaking, fire signs go good with air signs. Water signs go good with earth signs. It doesn't always work out that way because of the other stuff in the chart that then, you know, influences what someone's attracted to as well. But when it comes to Venus and Leo, they need someone who is going to be able to spoil them. They go good with fire signs, and they go good with, you know, air signs as well. They could go good with some earth signs too. It just really depends on... It really depends on the chart. I would have to look at it. Like it really depends on the chart. But Venus and Leo definitely needs to be spoiled. They need to be loved. They need to be with someone who can give them love like freely. Like they want to be stuck in that, like, you the one. And also they need to be in a committed relationship because they're a fixed sign. So they don't like letting go of relationships that quickly. So they can do a Venus in Taurus or Mars in Taurus. They can do, you know, they can do some Aries in there, but Aries can be a little flimsy. They can be a little flimsy. Okay. Moon in Capricorn is not always the best placement because the moon is in its fall when it's in Capricorn, which means that the moon cannot express itself emotionally properly through Capricorn energy. And it makes sense because the moon rules Cancer, and Cancer is opposite to Capricorn energy. So Cancer can literally express all of the moon's emotions, while Capricorn, we don't necessarily like being in our feelings like that. Like my moon is in Gemini, so even though I'm a Capricorn, I express my emotions through my mind. Like it's Gemini energy. That's why your girl talks so much. But yes, this is why, you know, when you have whatever is in your moon sign is how you express your emotions. Usually moon and Capricorn people can repress their emotions. They can, and then they end up having moments where they hold everything in and then they break down emotionally. it happens like every damn 4 months, like every 4 months here and there. They'll have like an emotional like crying session because they've been holding on to everything like internally. So it's hard for them to just express emotion, but generally Moon and Capricorn people are really great at managing all of the things that Capricorn is really good at. They're good at doing that emotionally. They're really good at, you know, oh, this needs to get done. Also, when it comes to the home, like really handling stuff in the home. But it's just about when it comes to expressing the emotions, like you trying to see a Moon and Capricorn cry. I don't know if that's gonna happen unless you have a personal relationship with them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's gonna happen unless you have like a one-on-one. Because usually they'll be like very like Capricorn on like stern. Like, you're not gonna move this mountain. You're not gonna move this mountain right now. So yeah, it's a little complex. Mars and Gemini though, with the Venus and Leo and the Mars and Gemini, yeah, I would say you could do any Venus in fire or Venus in air. Same with Mars. Any Venus in fire, Venus in air would go good. But you also have to look, and this is what I mean by you got to look at the rest of the chart, because if you have other planets in your 7th house or your 5th house, it just complicates something. It complicates it, because if you have Mercury in 7th, that's going to also influence how you love. So this is why a natal chart reading is important. A great time to remind you guys that I'm having a sale on all of my services. 44% off on all of my services, from astrology all the way to past life, all the way to all the things, with the code Virgo season in all caps. Link is in my bio for my website for those who are going to want a session or a reading or whatever. And all of my classes are also 44% off with the same code. So if you want to learn about the Akashic Records, past life regressions, soul work, generational trauma, ancestor work, all that stuff, including like 13 Doctors Bahu Chi, which is the most powerful energy healing modality that I know. I am teaching that as well. All that is linked in my bio, the description for YouTube and all that for my website, for those who are going to want to check that out. But yes, okay, so we're going to look at the last card, and then we're going to do the card pulls, because some people asked for some card pulls, so we're going to do those. So the first one is the last card is You Deserve Love. You are lovable. Okay, you deserve love. And that's on the messages. It's like, you deserve this. You deserve this, but you got to get through this first. Okay, you got to go from 0.5, because it's the 5th card, to 10. You got to go from 5 to 10. Okay, you got to get from point A to point Z. Right now, you here. You want to get here. That's great. But you got to do the work. You got to do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get to where you're supposed to be. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do I think we have 2 readings. Yes. Okay, so Missy's going first. Okay, so we're gonna do the oracle cards like readings now. For those who are gonna want a oracle reading, you can send $5 to $10 to my Cash App or Venmo, same as my username, OkaniLuna, and then just put the question in the comments. And you can pick which deck you want me to use. So your choices are the Okana deck. Please only pick this if you're trying to do shadow work, because it will read you to the filth. This is an ancestral deck. And when I tell you, this deck is not to be played with. This deck is not to be played with. It's for serious business if you're trying to get yelled at today. Then we have the Archangel Michael tarot deck, the Moonology tarot deck, the Messages from the Mermaids tarot deck, the Butterfly Oracle for Life Changes Oracle deck, and the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. Those are your Oracle card options for today. We already have 2 readings, so we'll probably maybe do like 2 more. So whoever wants to get a reading, do the thing now so that way I can see it. If you're on YouTube, you can also send it as a super chat. That's totally fine as well. But yeah, we're going to do Missy first, and then I believe Black Coffee is next. Yes. What days do you do these lives again? I want to come back next week. So we're doing the Mercury retrograde lives every 3 days, which are definitely getting a little technical, because I definitely have certain things that I got to do. So I'm going to try to schedule them to my best every 3 days. We're still doing the weekly healing circle. I just couldn't do it this Monday. And we're still going to be doing the other lives as well. We're going back to our regular scheduled routine, but the retrogrades got your girl organizing everything else. So we're going to get there, but these lives, the Mercury retrograde lives, are happening every 3 days. So the next one that this one should be on should be Monday, but Monday is when we do the weekly healing circle. So I might push it to Tuesday or Wednesday just because we're already having a live on Monday, if that makes sense, you know, just because, you know, your girl likes things to make sense. Okay, so Missy said, me choose the deck. Hold on. Okay, so the Moonology wants to take this one. So we're gonna do the Moonology because that's what Spirit said. Okay, so what does Missy Morales need to know right now? What does Missy Morales need to know? Oh, okay. That was 4 cards. And it just all came spilling out. So let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So we have first, full moon in Sagittarius, look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Then we have new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. Then we have first quarter moon, your commitment is being tested. Okay. And lastly, we have new moon in Aquarius, bring love into the situation. It definitely, ooh, by the way, bottom of the deck is what do you need to release? So, what do you need to release? Underlining energies. So with look at a bigger picture, and this is really like, it goes back into what we were talking about with, you know, the fact that the Sagittarius card is just lurking these weekly energies. Like, it's just lurking. There's a lot going on in your head right now, and you should be, as far as like analyzing your perspective to what's going on in your life right now, you definitely need to think, to not limit yourself when you're processing what you're processing. Like, try not to limit yourself. Try not to overly frustrate yourself. Try not to just refuse to kind of just like have this tunnel vision to certain issues or certain things that are going on in your life where you're just like, oh, but I'm just focusing on this. Like, open up your mind a little bit. Open up your perspective. Think about things in a larger scale. So when it comes to things that are happening in your life and in working through certain things that are happening in your life, I want you to think about, okay, how does this impact me? How does this issue impact me, impact us, impact the family, impact my friends? How does this impact me long term? What are the issues that are going to arise from this, from me having to deal with this? How am I going to be continuously blocked by the situation? How has it caused me harm? How has it impacted me personally, right? How am I personally dealing with this energy? Why does this energy, why does this situation feel like very, like it's taking up all of my energy? And how do I think about it through a different perspective? You have to look at the bigger picture now, and you have to ask yourself, like, okay, do I want to deal with the situation 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now? What is the situation? What do I want the situation to look like 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now? How does the situation come into a close? Like, how does it heal? How does it resolve? What do I need to do to get it resolved? What impact will it have on me if I don't have to deal with the situation in the same way? Right? This is also why you're getting the meditate and contemplate card, because you're being asked to like meditate a little bit more, to actually go up into whether it's communicating with your higher self, whether it's talking to your ancestors, whether it's your spirit guides, whether it's like asking for guidance, like divine guidance. You're being asked to use your mind and not limit yourself up here, like working with your crown's energy up here. This is also why you're also getting the Aquarius energy, which very much rules that space. So coming back into like the love energy, coming back into the love vibration, coming back into like you feeling passionate about your life, feeling passionate about people, feeling passionate about, you know, those who you love and you care for. How do you get back to that? How do you get back to love or feeling like really grounded emotionally? How do you get back to that? What do you do? What do you do with the truth? How do you process it? What is the action that you are currently taking? This is why at bottom of the deck is what do you need to release? Like something that definitely needs to be released, whether it's a perspective that's keeping you blocked, whether it's an understanding or a lesson that you need to process in order for you to overcome this moment so that you can move into the future. So if you are being tested right now, what lesson are you learning? What have you yet to accept? And why haven't you released it? What is standing in the way of you releasing it? What is the problem? What is holding you back? Those are the questions. Those are the questions that Spirit is asking you right now. Yep. That is all the messages they're giving me. So I hope that you got all the messages that you needed. And I will definitely see you in the next one. You already know. But I hope you got all the messages that you needed. I believe Black Coffee is next, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Oh. Black Coffee chose the Okana deck. So a lot of the time, and you guys always mention this, but anytime I read from this, you guys are always like, I needed to hear this message too. It's really funny. But let's see. Oh my God. Anytime somebody picks this deck, I'm always like, you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Okay. Okay, Black Coffee, Okana deck. When will my finances be normal again? No job or unemployment? Is it something I need to do? Okay, let's see. What does Black Coffee need to know? Oh. Okay. Okay, bottom of the deck is Vex. There is fire within and fire without. Okay. Let's see. There's also one of the only decks that I will read from the book, and there's a reason why, but we will talk about it as well. But there's a reason why, because she wrote it in a very specific way. So yes. So the first card is Harmony. Okay. Harmony. Then it is Flare. Flare. Then it is Wicked. Wicked. Okay. Harmony. Okay, I found Flare, but I need to get Harmony. And if I'm not mistaken, Harmony is over here. Hold on. Harmony. Boom. Ah, 11. Okay. Okay, Harmony. Harmony. Where there is life, there is always hope. Shadow element. A struggle with being hopeful and optimistic. Are you a glass half full or glass half empty kind of person? This card suggests that you are currently experiencing a time where your spirit is disharmonious with your surroundings. However, instead of focusing on what you can do to alter your reality, you lost hope in there ever being a time where you are truly content, happy, and at peace. It suggests you may have given up or are longing for harmony and don't know what to do to grasp it. Your ancestors recognize the dejection manifesting in your heart and are telling you to work through the joys you experience. Even if it's a small act as lighting a nice candle or watching one of your favorite films, doing this gives you the opportunity to plant a seed of contentment, even if it's the size of a mustard seed that you can water with a small act so that it can grow into positive disposition, that you can harvest in time when you feel you're being tested emotionally. Okay. Harmony. Then we have flare. When the lightning flashes, it touches sky and earth. Shadow element, experiencing emotional outbursts and perhaps even taking things out on others. An integral part of emotional maturity is being able to acknowledge what we feel and express ourselves in an appropriate way. Excusing ourselves to be alone or be with our most trusted friends to express ourselves in a safe way is vastly underused, which is why compartmentalizing stress, frustration, and anger seem to be nearly impossible in the moment. This card is acknowledging that you or someone you know may struggle with expressing intense emotion in a way that is fair to you or them, but is also fair to those around who are either happy to give the space that is required or who want to be there in confidence. Flare as a temper flare is suggesting that there may be also a struggle with taking said intense emotions out on people and failing to realize that others are not responsible for the way you feel in the same route. Trying to bring others down when you feel down is not only unfair to them, it is unfair to the interpersonal relationships, health as a long term. Okay, so that was flare. Then we have wicked. Wicked. One who sows the seeds of hatred will see their children harvest the fruits. Shadow element. Having absolutely no balance between the dark and light and not striving to. Where this good, there is a drop of bad. Where there is bad, there's a drop of good. You cannot have the light without the dark and vice versa, because you need both for divine balance between positive and negative energy. This card suggests you are out of sync with the importance of maintaining balance between the two, favoring picking a side. Of course, you don't want to deal in only darkness because it can reap unsavory consequences, but only dealing in the light can leave the inexperienced unprepared to protect themselves in the event that is necessary. This card, more than anything, is a call to action to assess why you have made the spiritual decisions that you have made and how they have panned out for you thus far. Do not mistake total balance 24/7 is not realistic, a process for most, when there are so many causes to sway one way or the other. However, trying to maintain a semblance of it is key. So you're getting a lot of the balance energies, right, with harmony and wicked. And also there's the energy of taking out whatever's going on other people, whether it's like Mercury retrograde triggering some things, whether it's like you're feeling frustrated with your situation. So it's like when someone approaches you for something, you're like taking out, like you have an attitude or you're just like, ugh. And so you're projecting stuff on other people. Very Mercury retrograde-ish as well. But it's really, really important for one, you need to do a lot of self-care right now. That's one of the things that was evident with this card, okay, with the harmony card. You are in dire need of self-care. You need to self-care. You need to self-care. You need to love yourself even when things are going bad. One of the things I have been preaching y'all for like years now is that your self-care routine or your self-love routine comes in the most handy when shit is not going good. Okay, when shit is not going good, when shit is in the gutter, when you're literally like depressed, when you're literally like so overwhelmed, when you're irritated, when you're annoyed, that's when your self-care routine literally needs to trigger in. That's when it comes in handy, because then you're just like, hold on, I need to take care of myself. I need to handle myself. I need to come back to feeling good because I feel like shit right now. I need to do something. recognizing that you need to do something is the first thing, right? But recognizing that you need to love yourself too, that you need to care for yourself, right? One of the things that I've also been telling y'all for years is that we're grown as babies. Like, yes, we're adults, but we're grown as babies that our parents had, you know, they stopped cleaning us and feeding us. So we have to do it for ourselves, right? So we actively have to choose to literally care for ourselves. So when we say self-care, that includes eating correctly. That includes being nourished correctly, right? Because at some point, our parents can't do that anymore. We're grown enough to be able to not only know how to do it, but also to, you know, make the right choices for our own bodies, right? So you have to be very mindful of how your imbalances, how the things that are happening in your life right now, how you, like, what your role is in getting yourself together, no matter what is happening within your life right now. How are you treating you? What does your relationship with you look like right now? Okay. Because that's going to also impact how grounded you are. If your self-care routine and your self-love routine is not on point right now, the rest of how you maintain your grounding when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to family, when it comes to your home, when it comes to business, it all starts getting a little muddy, because it's like you're not in alignment to what you're supposed to be. So it's really, really, really important for you to practice balance, to practice self-care, for you to literally find moments within the day where you are just kind of giving yourself a little bit of a break. No matter what is happening, you can find joy in something, whether it's taking a walk, okay, spending some time with nature, whether it's just like talking to the birds, talking to the trees, going to the beach, going to the river, whether it's you painting. Maybe you haven't read a book in a while and you just, you know, need to get out of your world mentally. This would be a really good time for you to self-care. This is a really good time for you to, like, not drown yourself in like the issues. Like, you still need to have the purpose of not only life, like to have that balance, have that grounding with the purpose of life, but you need to feel good. You need to be happy. You need to, in order for this life to mean anything, you have to feel good. You have to find beauty in it. You have to find the love in it. You have to do that. If not, you're gonna grow bitter, and this is where the flare is coming up. It's like it's the lashing out. It's the, oh, I'm frustrated, so I'm taking it out on you, even though I don't mean to. But you know what? I don't feel good, so whatever. I'm gonna just do what it is. Like, you need to be mindful of not you know, distracting the problem by just like focusing on or on like the moments where you're like angry or frustrated or irritated, and then everybody else is just taking your energy. You need to be mindful of recognizing in those moments that it's like, yo, I don't feel good right now. I really need to take care of myself, because I don't even like me right now. I don't think I'm being my best self. I don't think I should be talking like this. I don't think it's good for anybody. Like, why? You know what? I gotta get myself together. I gotta get myself together. And that's really the message of your reading. It's coming into balance. This is also why you're getting the wicked energy. It's coming into balance. It's you needing to recognize what you're doing. You need to recognize your behavior, and you needing to come back to loving yourself. Super important, because when you love yourself, certain things start coming into place. Certain things start coming into motion, because then you're navigating from that vibration of love. You're navigating from feeling good, taking care of yourself. You're navigating from like comfort instead of anger, frustration, all of that. It just attracts more energetic, some nasty debris, some nasty energetic debris. And then when you're like spending time with other people, when they have shit going on and you have shit going on, you're not working on yourself, you're just also sponging up all of that energy. So you do have to take into account that you need to balance yourself, and you also need to like have some self-reflection and recognize how you're also projecting things out externally, and how that's a reflection of what's going on internally. Okay, so that is your reading, my love. You said you wanted to get rid to the fill, so there you go. There you go. There you go. But yeah, that is your reading, my love. I hope that you got all the messages that you needed, because, you know, fun times. Fun times. Anyway, we could probably do one more person if anybody else wants a reading before we sign off for today, because we've been on for like a cute hour and 24 minutes. So the throat, your girl can talk a lot, but that don't mean my voice is not gonna go away. Honestly, I feel like my voice will go away after like 3 hours of talking, maybe. Honestly, not even, because I be teaching the 5-hour classes and I'd be fine. So maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm under exaggerating. That's what it is. I'm under exaggerating. And for those who are gonna need any other of my services, because we're only doing like oracle card readings right now, don't forget 44% off all of my services on my website until the 5th. You guys got 5 days to book what you want to book. Past life astrology, natal charts, synastry. I recommend everybody get a transit reading right now. Honestly, that's if I would recommend one of my services. Like if I were to tell you like which service do you need, it would be a transit reading. Probably a past life reading too, but a transit reading. Why? Because a transit reading is going to tell you what's going on to you specifically astrologically for the next couple of months. Like a transit reading. Highly recommend a solar return because it's a 12-month forecast. But the other ones are 6-month forecasts. So you get 6 months worth of like month-to-month breakdown on astrologically what's going on, how to best work, with the energies, where the moon, what houses the moons are going to be like for you, all that kind of stuff. So I recommend that, considering that up until the end of December, it's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be a lot going on. It's a lot of retrogrades. So if you want to know how it's impacting you personally, get a transit reading. That's what I'm going to recommend. Is the least one that I would recommend, like the transit reading. But some people are definitely going to need a past life reading, especially as we inch closer to Scorpio season, because Scorpio season, like Scorpio rules death and transformation. So it does highlight a lot of past life work and like past life issues, right? And so when it comes to past life work is not something that I could do like a collective session in, because that's not how past life readings work at all. It's like a very personal thing. Like when it comes to past life readings, like you can't just channel somebody else's past life without their consent. Like this is why, how people do like celebrity readings? Like they'll do celebrity astrology readings. Because they have some of the birth information. There's a lot of astrologers out here that be doing a lot of like celebrity astrology readings, but they don't have their correct time, which is a red flag, by the way. But they be doing a lot of like tarot or oracle readings on like celebrities and stuff like that. That's like divination, right? Past life work is not divination. It's not. It can be confused with divination, but it's not. I can't just go up into the records and be like, yo, can I see Britney Spears' past life? I cannot. They won't give me access to that. If I don't have the person's consent, I can't read their past life. Like past lives are very, very like a sacred, very sacred thing, because it's soul work. So you're working with your soul's energy. And your soul's energy is not like, let me pull cards. No, it's just not, you're not gonna be able to channel it that way. So past life work is definitely something that I can never do a collective session on. It's just kind of layered to do. So it's like, and it's very interpersonal, like it's a one-on-one thing. So it's different than doing like a checking in the energies kind of reading with tarot. Tarot's way more like fluid, but past life work is way more direct, to the point, to the message, to what happened. But it's also really, really cool. Like I really love doing Akashic Records reading. I love holding space for everybody. Like for those who have booked sessions with me before, I love holding space for you guys. The different past lives that be coming up, like I'd be shocked. Like I'd be like, what in the world? There's so many things that I've like seen that I don't recall. Like I barely recall certain people's past lives, due to the fact that like the records are closed. Once I close them, it's like I don't really remember anymore. But it's one of those things that it's like very interesting to see how someone's life before, like how what the trauma that's associated with certain lifetimes, how it was created. And when I tell you, there's so many different traumas that were created from like the smallest moments. Sometimes it's the smallest thing, and sometimes it's really big things. Sometimes it's really like unintentional things, and especially when it comes to the context of looking at karmic relationships and relationships that, you know, due to the like the miseducation when it comes to like soulmates and stuff, people confuse soulmates with karmic relationships, with twin flames, with like, you know, like a lot of this stuff gets confused. The lingo, the language, the energy gets confused, and sometimes people be thinking like the one thing is not actually the other. But in reality, like past life work and soul work, like doing soul work is very healing, is very transformative. There's certain things that you're only going to be able to heal through soul work. And I always tell people this, especially when they get consultations with me, because some people think that they can heal stuff just with a candle. Listen, I love candle magic. I love candle magic. I really, really, really do. But I will tell you, there are some things you cannot heal with candle magic. Even with like a heal, like that candle will send you to the person to do the session. That's what's gonna end up happening. Like it won't be like you're healing with it. It'll be like, you gotta go do this work. So I'm sending you to that person because that's what you actually need to do. You don't need to, you don't need to light the candle to heal it. Sometimes it's like, soul work requires soul work. Like you need to work with your soul, work with your spirit to heal. And not everything is a candle. Not everything can get fixed by a candle. Not everything can get fixed by the elements too. Like elemental magic is my favorite form of working spiritually because it's like it's just nature based, right? But when it comes to spirit is complex. Spirit is very layered. Certain things, this is why when you're working with spirit, it requires ceremony. It requires like deeper work, right? And that's what past life is a deeper work, deeper diving into your practice in a way that you can't really touch when it comes to, working with like candle magic or something like that. Because candle magic, ultimately, it's really good for purifying, cleansing, manifesting. But when it comes to soul work, you have to do the soul work. You have to like dive into the pool and do the work directly. You have to pinpoint it, or else it won't really like fully make sense entirely. So yeah. Okay, so we are at 1:31. Okay, before I start ranting about something else, because you guys know I do that. Your girl does that. I will be working on like more videos for you guys, so you guys will get more. I've also been doing more like of a series on TikTok as well, because they're like wanting more like longer videos as well there. So I've been posting more longer videos, but I do feel like I've been neglecting my YouTube a little bit because I haven't had enough time to post. So I will be posting more soon. Okay, stay tuned. We're gonna do a lot more. We're gonna do the thing. Do not worry. But yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. There's definitely going to be way more content coming. I want to do a meditation series, so you guys will get more meditation. And one of those ways I like to work the mind as well is to, do those meditations. So I'm going to be doing a meditation series on YouTube. So you guys will get more meditations. I know you guys really enjoy the meditations when I put them up as well. And I always get a lot of really good feedback from it. So we will be doing more meditation series. And yeah, stay tuned for all of the things. I love you guys so much. It's been a blast. I hope that you guys like got all of the messages that you needed. Okay. And we will check in. We will have the challenge tomorrow. We're still doing all of the things. So we will check in. I'll keep y'all posted. I love you guys. Bye. Bye, my loves.